Hi, everyone. Max Emmer here from Emmer Law. I'm pleased to be joined today by two local real estate legends and professionals, Alyse Robertelli and Candice VanSlembrouck of Max Brock in Bloomfield Hills. Hi, guys. How are you?
Great. How are
Hi,
you?
Matt.
Excellent. Well, I'm so glad you came on. And I know in my practice, the marital home is always a big deal because for most couples, it's their most significant asset. It's also where their family lives. For you guys, you're helping people navigate kind of the crazy world of home listing sales and the rate climate. So first, I wanted to just open the floor to you and say in kind of Oakland County or the Metro Detroit area, we just started Q4 2024 today. What are you seeing in the local real estate market that is interesting or different for you guys?
Go ahead. I'll let you start.
So it's actually still quite a seller's market. And the biggest struggle that we are dealing with right now is inventory. It
Okay.
really comes down to supply and demand. And there's just not enough available opportunities for the amount of buyers that there are. And
Which
even
drives up competition for the houses and by extension, the buyers in the market.
that is
Of course.
correct.
Yep.
And the good ones are going to go, the good ones are going to go fast. The good ones are still getting bidding wars, but it's still really important to really focus on how you're positioning your listings for maximum exposure. And just like it's always been historically, you get the most exposure right in the beginning of a new listing. So pricing it right from the beginning is key, and consumer demand drives up the price.
Absolutely. In addition to that, with positioning and days on market, we have started to see a little bit more days on market with this climate that we're in right now in our marketplace, but obviously nowhere near what we were at 10 years ago. But we're definitely not seeing 12 offers in one weekend on a property. It's more so it may take a week to 2 weeks, depending on the condition and the positioning of a listing.
Which is
And
like, oh
would
my God, my house didn't sell in 1 week.
right, and they don't have 31 offers. Now,
Right,
would you
exactly.
And
chalk
if
that
it's
up?
one, might have four, but it's still four
Right.
solid good offers.
Yep.
And would you chalk that up? Is it part seasonal? Is it part a softening economy? Is it the fact that rates are lowering, therefore more people are entering the market? I guess obviously there's no silver bullet. Um, is there any explanation to kind of that shift, or is it just the cycle of the market?
I mean, you're always going to have people entering a market. There's also the slew of buyers that didn't find a home from before
Yeah.
when
Right.
there was 12 offers on the property, but only one lucky one got accepted. What happened to those 11 other buyers? So there's still a lot of buyers. Rates. Rates are good. I mean, they're not 2.5, 3% like they were a couple of years ago. But our reality is, are they really ever going to go back to 2.5, 3%? So to hear rates being quoted in the high fives right now, give or take, it's a great rate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Historic.
And yeah. And then I always say my dad talks about when they bought their house, they were 12, 13%,
Yeah.
albeit
Yeah.
prices were a lot lower, but that kind of dovetailed into my question. I know you're on the real estate side versus the lending side. My understanding is right now, 30-year fixed or high fives, low sixes. First of all, would you say that's accurate?
Yes.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and second, do you, and I think you might have answered this, you don't see us returning to a high three, sub four rate market anytime soon?
I don't see
Not
three,
really.
potentially high fours,
Yeah.
potentially. But that's projected and we just can't determine it. But that is something they are talking about. But we just, at this point, we don't know that.
And if you guys are working with a client or say a divorce client and they raise concerns to you about rates or changing rates, what is kind of your response? I imagine it's in part you can always refinance if they go down, and partially always that a home and a move is more than a rate. I'd be curious how you both deal with in your day-to-day practice because I bet you do get this question and this concern a lot.
We do.
I mean,
We have a
I know
slogan.
you're dealing with a lot of divorcees. We do like the term marry the house and date the rate.
Yeah.
Yes,
We're
yes,
not locked in.
Yeah.
What happens
yeah.
6 months down the road from now? Who knows what happens 6 years down the road from now? Who knows? We wish we had the crystal ball. So you find the house that you like, or in a divorce situation, you stay in the house you like, and you can always change that rate at any point.
Absolutely.
That's a good phrase, and I hear that professionally. Marry the house, date the rate, and I compare something similar when people are getting divorced and say they have a 4-year-old. It's very stressful for them to say, I have to decide custody and parenting time and child support for the next 14 years. Really similar to a house and a rate. Everything with children's is modifiable. And I
Absolutely.
think we probably both have to do some of that. Look, I know it's stressful and concerning to think I'm committing this for a decade, 14 years, 30 years. But in reality, it can be changed and the market does change. It's just unfortunate because we all got used to 2 and 3%, and no one wants to see 6% when they were at 2 and 3, but life circumstances change. And I wanted to ask you one more. Go ahead.
Kind of our inventory as well. Like we have people that have been in houses that have been there for 30 plus years. They took advantage of the refi boom at the 2.5%, and they don't want to move. They're not interested in going to a smaller home, taking on larger taxes for another purchase, and taking on more of an interest rate than they're in right now in their current home that they're very comfortable in. And I think that also lends to our lack of inventory and where we're at in our marketplace as well.
Yeah, and I want to ask you kind of a final two-part question. I'll start with one, and I'm sure you've worked with them. If you're working with a couple or a party who's thinking about or entering a divorce, what advice or tips do you have for that? And second, to kind of finish things off, in your day-to-day practice, what's a tip you have for both buyers and sellers right now? So, and I can refresh the question once you answer part one.
I'm going to start with the tip for buyers and
Okay,
sellers.
great.
I think that in this complex market that we're in, it's really more important than ever to be working with a team of professionals that truly, A, have your best interests, and B, know how to navigate this market. Our whole business model has shifted, I'd say, in the last 2 years.
Yep.
If in this low inventory market, if we just sat and were reactive to new listings popping up in the MLS, it would be very hard to find people homes.
Right.
It has turned into a game of matchmaking. And with that being said, it's trying to pair together, match together buyers and sellers that we know of. We have a huge network. Within our company, within our personal sphere, within our contacts, and really proactively trying to seek opportunities for especially our buyers, to try and find them homes. Who do we know that is making a move? Who can we contact?
Yeah.
Whose neighbor is getting divorced, getting married, upsizing, downsizing, whatever it might be, through the schools, through our community, really putting the word out there of what we're looking for and trying to make a match.
Absolutely. Match
Awesome.
Matchmaking.
matchmaking.
And I can say, unfortunately, I don't think I'm ever moving again, but I can endorse personally and professionally Alyse and Candice. I think we've done 2 houses together in real estate transactions, and they're very connected, responsive. They get things done. They know the market. And Alyse and Candice, if you want to share where people can find you, if they want to talk to you about their house or their housing search, please share the best way to reach and connect with you.
Absolutely. If you'd like to reach out via phone, you can contact me at 248-346-6795. We're also on social media. You can find us on Instagram. That would be Robertelli Team _realtors.
And we're on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube for all of our listings. We do professional videography. Check out some fun reels that we've done. Really, on the listing end is, getting you exposure and just going outside of the box to get your listing and your house in front of as many people as possible. And would love the opportunity to answer any other questions that anyone ever has, whether you're looking to do something now or later, or just have questions about remodeling and return on investments. Always feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Alyse, Candice. And I'll also share your information. And if anyone listening or I have any clients or contacts who want an introduction, I'm more than happy to facilitate. Guys, Thank you so much for appearing. Hopefully those rates go down, but not too much to not flood the market.
Rates come
And
down
we'll
and an influx of new listings.
new listings, and we'll check in the new year to see what's going on. Thanks so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Max.
Thanks, Max. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.